Hello, Wang Automotive here, and today in BeamNG I'm going to be talking about a few cars that definitely need to be remastered, like these three, which have been quite recently remastered. Anything 50s, 60s, 70s definitely needs a revamp, like the Miramar, for example. There's not a lot of configs, and definitely aftermarket parts are needed. And especially the damage model on these old cars could really get a rework, as well as the interior graphics and everything like that. And honestly, it's just not up to par with the modern BeamNG stuff. The Barstow's interior is great, but things like aftermarket parts and a lot of the sounds are just really kind of lacking. And the biggest thing is the damage model, I think, really needs to be worked on. Probably the oldest ETK around. The I-Series is the only ETK that hasn't been remastered yet, and that is a crime because there's a lot to do with this car. A lot of potential, and the graphics, the textures, everything definitely need a rework. The next car you probably forgot about, the Blue Buck. Yeah, I kind of added it a while back and they didn't really do anything. So it needs more aftermarket parts and configurations, plus update the damage model. Now another thing is the bus. I love the bus missions. They are great. But the thing is, the bus itself is kind of mediocre, I'll tell you that. Itself, you know, all the mechanics on it are correct and all the airbags, hydraulics, all that stuff works great. And I'll tell you, it's groundbreaking. But the thing is, the interior of this thing is just mediocre at best. And it also needs all new textures and redesign. But the vehicle that needs it the most is obviously the Gavril T-Series. This thing is ancient. I mean, I remember back before the Hopper and all that stuff. Back in like version 3, this thing was still around in the exact same way. No openable doors, unlike every other vehicle in the game. I mean, barely any configs, barely any customization on this thing. And honestly, it needs a better damage model. Now, the next vehicles needed bad. The SPR4 and the Sun, both the Roachis, definitely need textures reworked. The aftermarket parts are okay, but not best. And of course, we need a better damage model. Now, this is the Hopper, and honestly, it hasn't got much work to it. The crawlers are cool and all, but the actual base Hopper itself is kind of mediocre. I mean, it definitely needs new textures on the interior as well. And of course, the damage model could be a bit better. There's not much improvement to it, but it's already, you know, kind of getting dated. Now, this next thing might be a little controversial, but the FCV, they could have done a lot more to it. I mean, come on. You know, just two little cars on a platform that's so versatile. I'll tell you, it's just wasted potential, I'm telling you. And this thing is absolutely great, but, you know, things like the damage model could be a bit better. Now, of course, the next car definitely needs it absolutely the most. The 200BX. One of my favorite cars. One of the earliest cars in the game, too. And, well, honestly, the absolute greatness of this car is just unparalleled. But, Jesus, what are those interior textures? I'm telling you, it's murdering me. And, of course, the 200BX could definitely use a better damage model and more aftermarket parts and configs. And that's, honestly, that's my list. If you want to add more to it, please go ahead. Feel free in the comments. And anyway, do subscribe. It does support the channel so I can make more cool content. Hey, toodaloo.